Hey guys, welcome to my review of Magdalena Bay's Imaginal Disc, which is an album that came out over a year ago now, but it's it still holds up to this day. I mean, it's a bop. It's popping off a little bit, and I thought it deserved a bit of a review. I mean, I got into Magdalena Bay, what, like 4 years ago now, when Mercurial World first came out. And I actually saw a review on ARTV's channel for Secrets Your Fire. I think it was his song of the year at that time. And I thought, wow, this sounds brilliant. I need to check them out. And I just fell in love with all of their songs, their album, their EPs, their singles. Um, it's just really unique, very well produced, synth pop. It feels very ethereal. You can tell they got a lot of inspiration from Grimes, even Charlie XCX they've cited as a inspiration. There's a bit of chairlift in there, even some older inspirations like Fiona Apple and David Bowie. Um, and I just don't think they can be stopped. I think their music is brilliant. They have fantastic chemistry together on all their production, all their songs. They even brought their friend Nick in on the drums this album. And I think it's really paid off. I think it really gives a new depth to each song compared to their older work. Um, when Death and Romance first came out, obviously it's a brilliant song, but I wasn't too sure of it at first because it sounds so different. It almost sounds a bit like a rock song, and I sort of, I was expecting a bit more, synth, a bit more complex production value. I mean, obviously that song is one of my favorites on the album now. I keep coming back to it, but even Image is such a different song to what they would normally release, and obviously Death and Romance and Image is such different tracks. So I wasn't sure on the direction they were taking, but I should have just trusted the process because they came out with such an amazing album from start to finish. Even from She Looked Like Me, I feel like it's really good at in captivating you. I mean, you hear that like disc, that like CD sound right from the get go. Um, they're really good at building a world of eccentric production, and it's a little bit quirky, a little bit fun. You almost don't want to do anything else but listen to this album all throughout the entirety of its length, which does not fall short. It comes out to almost an hour long. I think just over 50 minutes long. Um, and that's kind of why I fell in love with Mercurial World to begin with, because it builds this world from start to finish. The songs are well produced, very unique, out of this world, I would almost say. Um, and the transitions are some of my favorite transitions from any album or any song. I feel like you have to listen to their albums from start to finish to really get a full understanding of how each song flows into one another. I do think the transitions on Imaginal Disc are fantastic as well. Um, especially from Death and Romance to Fear Sex, it almost feels like they're one song. You shouldn't listen to them separately, right? And it really, I feel like on its own, Fear Sex would be a bit of a weaker song, but it's not. It sounds brilliant, especially when paired together with Death and Romance. I think some of my favorite songs on this album include Killing Time. When that song builds up all the way to the end, it just pops off. It sounds brilliant. I love it. It gives me chills almost. I would go as far to say. Watching TV is probably one of their most complex productions to date. I do really enjoy listening to that song and picking out different elements each time I listen to it. Um, I think Cry For Me, cites ABBA inspiration, ABBA production. It sounds a bit like Dancing Queen in the way the song builds up and uses each different instrument. It's a beautiful track. Uh, Same goes for That's My Flaw. It's really fun, really grimy production. It's got guitar work from Matt, which sounds fantastic, I think, and it sounds brilliant live as well. I'm wearing my Magdalene Bay tour shirt, um, and they were brilliant live. 10 out of 10. Would definitely recommend seeing them again, or just seeing them in general, to be honest. But yeah, I do think each song on the album is just fantastic. Even Angel on a Satellite, it's a beautiful song. I mean, you should listen to that on a rainy day. It does have raindrops in the song, but it took me a little bit of time to, warm up to that song. But I think each time you listen to it, it just gets better and better. Um, and then the Ballad of Matt and Mica really surprised me the first time I heard it. I didn't expect such a bop. It sounds really joyful. It's really fun. Has a lot of ad libs, which just goes to show how much they loved creating this album. You can tell they put a lot of effort and a lot of work into this. Um, you know, they just do not miss. Essentially, I do think this album's 10 out of 10. Um, I didn't want to give it a 10 out of 10 when it first came out, um, even though it was brilliant, but I can't fault it. Each time I listen to the album, it just gets better and better. I do think it's a bit of a timeless classic. I do think it will probably be one of the best albums of a decade. It certainly is already one of my favorite albums of all time. Like I said, I just can't fault it. Even on Vampire in a Corner or Love is Everywhere, they're probably my least favorite tracks on the album, but they're still fantastic, which, says a lot, really. But I don't come back to those songs as often unless I'm listening to the album, fully through, which I would especially recommend on the vinyl player. I did buy myself a vinyl of this album, all the way from America because they didn't sell them in the UK at the time. I mean, obviously now they've popped off a little bit. They're growing in popularity. They're supporting huge acts like Billie Eilish on her tour currently, um, which is just fantastic. I mean, they deserve all the praise and popularity they can get. Really, they were quite a niche duo when I first started listening to them, but I do think they really deserve the fame, and I hope they keep growing and creating, strong material. I don't know how they're gonna top Imaginal Disc, but I did think the same when Mercurial World came out, and they managed to do it. So I think you just have to trust the process. They know what they're doing. Don't skip on any of their material because it will be fantastic. Um, and hopefully we'll get a mini mix volume 4 soon as well, which will have some more fun tracks on it. But let me show you one of the Imaginal discs from this vinyl. I think I got the deep ocean blue color. Let me make sure I don't drop this disc. But yeah, it looks fantastic. It's like a deep blue. It sort of has swirls on it. And it looks fantastic, to be honest. I'm really glad I got this variant. And I don't think they realized how popular this would become because they keep releasing new vinyls and they keep selling out straight away. And that's why I bought this when I could, because I didn't expect them to release more. But now they've skyrocketed in popularity. They just keep releasing more and more, which is fair enough. Okay, I cannot put this away. There we go. Yeah, I do think this album looks. This cover looks really cool as well. Look at the inside. I mean, there's a lot to unpack there, isn't there? It looks brilliant. Even on the back, it's got the track listing, and it's got Matt on one side, Mica on the other. I can't fault this album. I do think it's a 10 out of 10. I mean, I don't have a favorite side. I think each song has redeeming value. And I do recommend you listen to this album, even if you don't think you'll like it. You'll definitely find songs that you will enjoy on here. If you enjoy more progressive rock type songs, listen to Tunnel Vision. If you like EDM, try Image. If you like, groovy tracks and disco, Love is Everywhere, Cry for Me. You'll definitely find something you like on this album. And for that reason, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. I cannot fault it. And yeah, let me know what you think of this album in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.